missing a few things. I have to go do a little backtracking to the review of the one, Tsunangra, whatever, Doctor Who thing. But Demons of the Punjab, I caught most of it, enough to get the general gist of it. And it seems to be a bit of a pattern emerging here. I'll do more specific ones in each one. I had a problem mainly because I was trying to, when watching the other one, it was just too late. I fell asleep, so I had to do a little more awake. But I caught a good chunk of last week's the Punjab one on BBC One. I tuned in late and I missed the very tail end, but I got the gist of it. And it seems like they're in danger here with doing historicals of more recent history, in that they're kind of lecturing on current evils in a rather kind of pedantic way. The Rosa, it's like racism bad, okay, and now with the Punjab one, there seems to be going like sectarian violence is bad, okay. I think we figured that out. The fact that people died, people have rights denied. That we got it. Okay, we got it back then. Now, on the one hand, it does help to put a clear of what it really was like, because I'm coming from a bit of a history buff, so I already know a lot of this, but even I'm finding out things like with Rosa. Again, everything I've seen, they depicted the bus things happening during the daytime. And they also were generally showing as Rosa a big heroic, you drive us all where I please. And it wasn't quite that heroic, okay? She got hauled off and arrested, and that's when the things started happening. Okay. And I imagine a lot of people probably don't know what happened, when Pakistan separated off from India. Or was separate. I'm going to have to rewatch that again because I'm a little foggy on the details of it myself. So that's really more of a British history thing. But yeah, I think when they start focusing on recent history, and you got potentially people in the audience who can literally remember back, because they're talking stuff within living lifetime for the most part, or at least within a generation or so of it. So either I remember that sort of thing, or my dad told me, or my granddad told me what it was like, and that wasn't right. So, if they're going to do historicals, I think it might be better going back a few, Because it's like, in the original show, when they did historicals, it was way back history. We're talking like the French Revolution stuff, the Highland Rebellion, nothing that anybody in the audience could point back to and say, I remember that, and Robert the Bruce is nothing like that. Nobody could do that, okay, Or Robespierre was actually a very nice guy. No, not that I wouldn't even say that in the first place. But, so yeah, I think they might want to, if they're going to start going back doing historicals, go back a little further into history here, okay? But also, it's rather disturbing that no ideas for the Christmas special. How? For God's sakes, Chibs, where the hell have you been for the past 10 years? One guy on the message board saying, I got an idea for a Christmas special. Have Ian Chesterton and, we got Donna's grandpa team up and save the day. We still haven't seen Ian, and we know he's the headmaster of that school that Clara was teaching at. Because his name was on the thing. And that would be something. Have Ian meet up with the doctor. It's like, doctor? Oh, Chesterton! I think they may have, figured they may have backed off the thing of trying to imply that the doctor's been a woman before. When it's like, I think people point out, no, he hasn't. This is not something you can play with there, Chips. Okay? Hartnell was the original. He said so a few times, just as this past Christmas special. They established that, okay? So it's not just a matter of contradicting the old show, you're contradicting the current show, okay? Just because there's no hard, fast canon doesn't mean you can start playing willy-nilly with things, okay? You gotta at least pretend you know what you're doing, Now, granted, I'm very forgiving with Doctor Who because I think with this, it's not a show like Star Trek where it's not quite as proprietary. You know? Because for Star Trek, there was very much, this is our show. We're keeping this alive by the skin of our teeth. You know, Doctor Who, less so. I mean, yeah, fan support was important, but, and really the stuff, you know, shows like Blue Peter kept beating the drum. Because even through the dark years when nothing was going on, they drag out a Doctor Who thing. They have a Dalek show up, or the TARDIS would be in the background somewhere. So, but, and also the BBC was a different. Because the guy who did finally pull the plug on it back in the day, it wasn't Michael Grade. Michael Grade was gone within a year. Okay, hold on.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Like I said, the guy who was in charge of the BBC when they finally did put Doctor Who to sleep for a while after Sylvester McCoy. He said, you know, they didn't really intend for it to be. They were really planning on bringing it back a lot sooner. They just never could find anybody willing to step up and say, "I'll take it on." So it stretched on for a good long time there. What the hell? Someone keep trying to call in here. But yeah, they never intended to have the show go on that long of a hiatus. Okay, you know, so it was less an issue of, you know, fans demanding the show return and just finally finding somebody willing to take it on. So yeah, there's less of a thing there with Doctor Who. I mean, and it's just there was less of a fan push, I think. You know, and it's just a different attitude. It's, you know, and again, I give them a lot of leeway on what they can do with the show. It's like, because I just don't feel like it's really ours to demand that sort of thing. You know, we get this, we kind of built this attitude up with Star Trek. You know, demanding they must, you know, bring back the show and, you know, bring, you know. Even Gene Roddenberry said, you know, that he would not turn over the show to the fans. He would listen to them. By all means, he'll listen to the attitude and weigh that in there. But at the LA convention, where I was at, but I wasn't there when he was there. It was just for one day, and he was speaking the next day. The day I was there, he was at the golf course. but and it was after the first, during the hiatus between the first and second season, and it was not announced that Dr. Crusher wouldn't be back. They'd be replacing with somebody else, and he was catching some flack from the crowd. And he said, look, and when you're producing a show, the producer has to have to wait. Look, all right, everybody has to vote. Okay, everyone says, you know, keep Dr. Crusher. You know, everyone says aye. I say nay. The nays carry. So at some point, you got to let the producers produce the show. I'll grant that much. Now, before anyone jumps down and spin this back to Discovery, it's like there comes a point, though, where it is clear the producers have no clue what they're doing. Never had a clue what they're doing. Have no background at all, and should have been shown the door before the first script hit the desk. So that's a different thing. With Doctor Who currently, I mean, I don't think they really have any unexperienced. You know, everyone's got a bit of a track record here, so no one can say they don't know what they're doing. You know, Chibnall has been with the show in one capacity or another since the reboot. You know, since the relaunch. I don't call it a reboot. It's the same show. So he's definitely been around. He's contributed scripts in the past. You know, not necessarily the greatest ones, but you know. I have no idea what this is. What the? Get out of there. But yeah, no one can say that they don't know what they're doing over there. They're not doing what we'd like necessarily. And yeah, you should speak out and let them know the audience is unhappy. But yeah, I just don't feel the need to scream to the heavens, they're screwing over Dr. Who. And they're just not, you know. Again, the show's survived much worse than Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker. And I think Jodie Whittaker still has the makings to be an excellent doctor. Just needs, you know, a little better scripting, and frankly, writers who aren't going to play it safe like they are really playing it very safe. it's easy to do a little lecturing, such and such is bad, okay? Being evil is not nice. It's get a little more ambiguity here, okay? Let's get somewhere it's not quite so cut and dried. Or maybe the person that the doctor's going up against might have a point or two. Let's try that for a change. And again, they should not have admitted they don't have any ideas for the Christmas special. Even if it's just another episode that it just happens to be airing on Christmas, call that the Christmas special. But for God, you don't admit that, okay? Even if you are, and you're flailing around ready, somebody, I guarantee you, if they need to, go outside your current staff writers, call Russell, call Moffat, call, Gatiss, call Neil Gaiman. They'll all have ideas. They can have a script to your desk by the end of the month, okay? You never admit that in public, okay? Like certain things, you just don't reveal the guy behind the curtain, okay? Like I heard that when I was going to broadcast school in California, and Elton John had come up with the album Red Strikes Back. It's basically where he's kind of reclaimed his identity, and the cover has all those old stage costumes. He's kind of at this point toning down. It's just kind of slightly flashy suit, but not nuts, thing. And just trying to be a little more his idea was kind of enough with the persona, a little bit Ridgeback. Because for anyone who any amount of musical knowledge, Elton John's original name was Reginald Dwight. Not really a rock and roll name, Reg. But, so the whole Red Strikes Back. A little bit time to reel things back a bit. A disc jockey on a LA station. Who's Reg? Okay. Yeah, it's a case of your DJs on the air. And I take this person because I'm trying to be one of those DJs on the air. We're supposed to be the representatives of the music. Okay, we're supposed to be the ones who know this stuff. To relate this to the audience. Okay? That's why certain stations, like the one back in Denver, The Mountain. Lots of knowledge. These jocks know their stuff. I don't care if they're reading off a script. they get the knowledge and they tell it to you. The song comes on, they'll do some tidbit about, this album was recorded up at Caribou Ranch. Or so and so was 9 months pregnant, and ready to pop when she recorded this song. It's whatever, that kind of thing. Or coming up, a song that was written on the back of a napkin, stuff like that. You want to learn, get the audience involved so they're learning something new. Even if it's about a stupid pop song, who cares? They're interacting, they're engaged. Never admit you're just as stupid as the audience, okay? Because that just blows the whole deal. But that's rambling. Okay, other news. I am going to be interviewing for what is technically a receptionist job at Full Sail University over here in Winter Park. But it's really more work on the phones and transferring calls here and there and taking incoming calls. And apparently it's very, very laid back. It's a graphic arts, it's where folks go to learn CGI and music, production and stuff. So it's kind of a performing arts college. I would like to take some courses there one of these days, and maybe by being an employee, it might work out that well. But hopefully, I won't have to do too much to the beer because I don't want. That's I wouldn't mind chopping it off, but I don't have because the clippers are God knows where. But it should be a pretty good gig. I've talked to the guy twice about it and set up an in-person interview for Thursday. But I get it. It'll be full-time, 11 bucks an hour. From there, it should be rather short order to get into a house and finally end this little nightmare here. And get our stuff back from Kid Sis, get set up, and then start working on getting our stuff out of Colorado and get a disc car. Because as reliable, more or less, as this one has been, it's got too many problems related to kids keep on doing this every day. And the mileage is horrible. It's fine over the road, but in town it's horrible. And the rear suspension is shot. It's like it's always going a wheelie. But hopefully we're this close to finally getting up this homeless merry-go-round and getting our lives back. And also, I'll be right at about 800 subscribers now. I think it was like 799 or something, or right near around 800. So we're getting close. And we can finally start kicking in the high gear here and really start having some fun. So, in the meantime, PayPal, Patreon down below, and other links. And also, the reason why we're in the car is because the apartment where we've been kind of in and out of is being bug bombed today. Because it's a persistent roach problem. Just want to go away. I'm not taking full blame for that either. There were bugs there before we got there, so we may have exacerbated it with some stuff, but I'm not taking full blame for it. But all the animals out, so Jones is sitting back here behind me. Jonesy, cat, come here. There you go. Come on. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, he's gonna get the thing. Curl up in his litter box back here. But yeah, and hopefully within the next hour or so I'll be able to take him right back on there, and then I can finally get on the computer and get some actual work done. Still gotta. I want to work up kind of a tribute to Stan Lee. I'm not sure what yet. I'm also not sure what I can do without violating some copyright things somewhere. I'll see what I can do here. But anyway, PayPal, Patreon down below. We'll talk to you later.